sis, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I feel special, like, oh my god. And if you're a new subscriber, my name is Gwen Royals and I'm currently based in Umaya, Abia State of Nigeria. On a serious note, most of you take your spiritual life so unserious. Like, have you thought about standing in the dark? And how do you feel like standing in the dark in the night? Have you thought about that? Just standing outside your compound, outside your house, standing in the dark without nobody. Meanwhile, there are people looking at you, but you don't know, because there are spirits roving around in the night that you don't even know. Basically, you just feel like, okay, I'm a human being, yes, and you're in the physical realm, and then you feel like nothing goes on in the spiritual realm, right? And you feel like nothing matters, and you feel like you don't care, and you feel like, okay, when I wake up in the night, like maybe you just wake up by 3 p.m. and you're already, by 3 a.m. you wake up and you're already craving. You just start craving something. Some people are weird. Some people are really weird. When you wake up at midnight, what do you do? Like when you wake up at 1 a.m., when you wake up at 2 a.m., when you wake up by 3 a.m., what do you do when you wake up? Some people just think of, oh, I want to eat pizza. Oh, I want to drink water. Water is even okay. At least it's okay to drink water at that time. But when you wake up at that time, you should make sure that you say a little prayer, because you don't know what woke you up. You don't know exactly what woke you up. You don't know if it's an angelic spirit, you know, if the spirit of God. I was talking to a friend and she told me that she wakes up, like for the past 1 week, she usually wakes up every day, literally every day in the night, and it always comes by 3 a.m. She always wakes up around 3 a.m. every time. At a stretch in a week, you wake up by 3 a.m. Like, hello, what do you think? A lot of you don't know that the spiritual affects the physical, and there are a lot of people, there are a lot of things you need to know. You read books, you make research, and you feel like that's the end. You feel like, okay, you're just praying. Definitely you need to be close to God. Your communication with God it matters a lot. It needs to be strong, because you can't just sleep, you can't just wake up and you don't say a prayer and you just go around, roving around the road, roving around your office, and then you come back home with that same dirty body and you don't say a prayer after taking your bath. You want to go to bed, you just sleep like that. Hello. They never do something. I don't know if you've heard, if you know that there are witches and wizards around. Okay. They never do you something, because if they do you something, you will not take your spiritual life for a joke. Because come to think of it, like some people basically just say things out of their mouths and you don't even watch what you say. You don't watch what you say. We are actually in the physical realm. You don't watch what you say, and basically we have people at the top. We have people at the top watching you. You should know that. So you should be mindful of the things you say to people, other people, because you do not know who they are. You don't know where they came from. You don't even know you don't know anything about them, basically. And then you just bring out words from your mouth because you just want to rant, or because you just want to tell them, or you just want to make them know that you are in charge, like you've arrived, like you're exclusive. You should be mindful of what you say, what you bring out from your mouth, because you might just You might just say something to somebody, you might just insult someone, or just say something. At the end of the day, in the night, you cannot be able to sleep, because obviously you don't know if the person is a spirit, and the person will definitely come for you in the night. The person will definitely come for you in the night. So if you do not joke with your spiritual life, I tell you deep down, from the little I know, you won't have problems. Basically, you will not have problems. So if you're the kind of person that wakes up at night, and you have this issue of my friend that cannot even sleep at night, you have this, some people take drugs so that they can sleep at night. That's to tell you that at that hour is the time you should be resting, because that's a very strange, it's both strange and both, it's ungodly and godly. Why I say it's ungodly and godly is that we have different spirit moving around in the night. We have the good and the bad, and then it's up to you to make sure to be awakened in your spirits. What am I saying? I'm saying that when you wake up at night, you should make sure you say a prayer, because if you believe in God, then why are you not praying? Why are you not communicating with God if you call yourself a Christian? Why are you not communicating with God? Why is your prayer life, why is your spiritual life so down? Why do you allow the enemy? Why do you allow them to come for you? Why do you allow them to be so attracted to you? Some people, God. Some people are really very stubborn physically, and they're also stubborn spiritually. And they don't know. But these things are not meant to be taken for granted at all. You shouldn't be taken for granted. Okay, when you pray, I would say, or I would advise, you can use a candle to pray. You can use a bowl of water to pray. You can use incense, incense to pray. One, you're using incense. People tell you lights, they tell you air, they tell you the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. When you use water to pray, it's a good thing, it's a good sign. When you use incense to pray, it's also a good sign. When you use fire, that's the candle, to pray, it's also a good, you're initiating the strong powers, you're initiating positive energy, you're initiating positive powers. I don't mean praying and using all kind of fetish whatever. No, why do you think candles are invoked? Why do you think they make candles? Why do you even think that these candles are actually, they use candles in churches, like Catholic churches? They use candle even in Pentecostal churches. Why do you think they even use incense in the Catholic church? Why do you think they use incense in a lot of churches? Why do you even think, traditionally they use candles, traditionally they use incense? That's to tell you that it brings in positive energy, and you shouldn't take it for granted. When you're praying, it's okay to pray. You can just be walking on the streets and you just say a prayer, like you just say your prayer, and it's also good. Okay, the time that you know that is okay for you to pray is not bad. You can even pray in your toilets. You can pray when you're sitting. You can even pray when you're sleeping. Even when you feel like you're tired, you're weak, you can't stand up, just say a prayer. Just say something. Communicate with your God. Communicate with your chi. It's good and it's really necessary. It's relevant. Some people don't understand these things, but people keep preaching it. Men of God keep preaching it. Women of God keep preaching it. People that are spiritual keep speaking these things. They keep saying it all the time, but people take it for granted. But you think it's just child's play, you think it's children's play, but when it's done on you, then it will not ring on you that, okay, I need to go and be checking, I need to see a pastor, I need to pray, I need to fast. You don't have to wait for you to get attacked or whatever before you can be awakening your spirits. So what am I saying? When you're doing all these things you're doing, as a young lady, as a married woman, that's even when the whole temptation comes in. As a young man, As a married man, that's even when the whole temptation comes in. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't live your social life. I'm not saying you shouldn't live your life as a single person. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy yourself as a newly married couple. But, slay in Christ. I mean, like slay in God, with God, slay in the Lord. You cannot be living a social life and your spiritual life is like, it's like there. No, I mean, focus on the things that are necessary. We don't focus on some certain things, which is bad. At the end of the day, you start questioning yourself. Oh, why is this thing happening to me? Oh, why is this thing not going the way I planned it? Oh, why is this, that? And at the end of the day, you're not awakened. When you have a dream, you don't even know that they're trying to let you know about the things that you should know. You have a dream and you just take it for granted, and you be like, oh, that one is just okay, let's just leave it there. And then at the end of the day, you had that dream. Oh, that dream was actually showing you something. It means something. But at the end of the day, after that dream, you didn't pray. You didn't pray immediately or afterwards. Okay, fasting, that one is like you just want to add to it. But I mean, like after the dream you had, like you didn't pray. Hello, are you God? Like you really have supernatural powers? Like you just feel like things happen like that. You dream, you had a very rough dream, you had a very bad dream, and you feel like, oh, you can't do me anything. Oh my God. It's really funny how people think of a lot of things. I mean, ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to make your research. It's okay to ask your pastors, ask your spiritual director, but I mean, be focused. Focus on the things that you're seeing. There are things in front of you, you're not seeing it. There are things that you should be seeing, you're not seeing. Okay, I was talking to someone the other day, and she said, she was sleeping, and then she woke up in the morning, and she saw herself still lying down on the bed. I mean, she woke up and she found, I don't understand. Like, for me, it rang a lot into my head because it was so strange. Because strange things happen every day, but we don't know. Sometimes we just say, oh, something we don't know would not even get to us. Something we don't know would not even know us. But there are things that you should put into consideration. There are things you should focus on. There are things you should look into, because things happen every day. Strange things are happening. I mean, over time. I don't know about you, but I mean, I can never, and I repeat, I can never settle down for less. I cannot even marry a man that doesn't communicate with God. I cannot marry a man that doesn't believe in God. I don't know if that sounds okay, if that makes sense to you, but we have people that just wake up on their days. They just wake up and they start their day, their daily life. We have people like that. It might sound strange to you, it might sound weird, it might sound funny, it might sound crazy, but I'm trying to tell you this, that we have people that do not believe in God. We have people that they take their social life more than their spiritual life. But for me, I don't know for you, man, I don't know for you, girl, but I would love to marry a man that communicates with God better. I mean, like, good. I wouldn't want to marry someone that doesn't even know anything spiritually. I would love to marry a spiritual man, someone that is spiritual. I would love to. I'm not saying you can't bask in your spirituality and you can't bask in you being social. I mean, the two can go. You living your life as a person, doesn't affect your relationship with God. But by the time you let it affect your relationship with God is when the trouble comes in. Is when the whole tranquility and the trials comes in. I mean, every day we face a lot of problems. We face a lot of, bad all those troubles that comes with life. Everybody has their choices to make in life, but you should make sure you're not going the wrong way. And how do you make sure you're not going the wrong way? Communication. I mean, communication with God is good. A lot of things going on, and they'll be like, don't wear trousers, don't put on makeup, don't do this, don't do this, don't do your nails, don't do this, don't do that. Hello, like, I don't get it. What matters a lot is your heart. There's this thing my grandmom usually tells me. You know, some Sundays when she doesn't go to church, when I was still a very little girl, I asked her, "Ma, why didn't you go to church? Are you not going to church? Are you not coming with us?" She'll be like, "Ukadinobi." Not like she doesn't go to church, oh. She goes to church, but I mean, what's the difference when you're going to church and your heart is dirty, or your heart is not even clean? I mean, like, you're going to church and the whole thing in you is like horrible. What's the difference? It's a very big difference, oh, very, very big difference. Because I mean, if you're more focused on your spiritual life, you find out that even going to church safe doesn't make a difference. When you stay in your house and bask in the glory of God, I mean, when you talk and communicate with God, it's a whole lot. You don't have to stress yourself. My grandma will tell you Ukadinobi. She's saying all those things. She's not saying it because of she doesn't like going to church, but she's not saying it because of she likes going to church, or she's like a spiritual person, or she's not a spiritual person. No, she's actually saying it because that particular say or proverb, I don't know what it's called, means a lot. Ukadinobi. Obi in Igbo means heart. Uka in Igbo means church. And it doesn't really necessarily mean like church is in the heart. It necessarily means like you know your heart and your heart is clean. You know, basically, you don't necessarily have to do all those things because you're seeing people doing it. You can do you. You can do yourself. You know, I'm not saying I don't go to church. I go to church, but it's if I am led by the Spirit to go to church, I will go to church. If I'm not led by the Spirit, I will stay in my house and pray and communicate with my God. It's enough. Okay, let me, for instance, take a look at what happened, the bombing, or should I say the gunshots that happened in the church. It made a lot of people so scared. I know like 4 persons that said that I can't go to church again, no, after that thing I saw. It's not like that, though. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that at all. But you can't be going to church and your heart is dirty, your hand is not clean, and you're going to church and you're praising God. Even God said, if God was a human being, said he will blow you, he will beat you. My advice to you all is that when you know the necessary things to do it. And when you know that these things are not important, don't do it. It's not necessary. When you find an importance in that particular thing, do it, because you know something good will come out of it. Right? So your communication with God should be strong. And when you are awakened, like in the spirit, and you wake up by 1 o'clock, you wake up by 2 o'clock, you wake up by 3 o'clock, you wake up by 4 o'clock, or you wake up by 12 midnight, make sure to say a prayer. Do not, I repeat, do not let it slide. That hour is a very strange hour, and you don't know why you are awake at that point in time. So make sure to actually say a prayer. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, and comment. Bye.